All right. Well, welcome everyone to our Monday, December the 15th combined work session business board meeting. I call the meeting to order and I call on our assistant treasurer, Marie Tuttle, to call the roll, please.
Mr. Moore,
Here.
Mrs. Ramsey Hunter,
Here.
Mrs. Stewart,
Here.
Dr. Urso.
I am here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So move.
Second.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Verlina. Any questions, comments, concerns? All right, if there are none, Ms. Tuttle?
Mrs. Ramsey Hunter,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mrs. Stewart,
Yes.
Dr. Urso.
Yes. All right, that brings us to public participation. We have a few people who would like to speak to the board tonight. I'd like to welcome up Chris Brown and Jeff Brandt to the podium. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Members of the board, just like to, first of all, thank you for your continued partnership with the ESC. Some of you may know I'm leaving here January, first week of January, so I want to thank you for the partnership we've had forever. But mainly the last 10 years, we do a lot of things with Middletown, with preschool, Head Start, and all those things. We appreciate that partnership. But I want to introduce the person who's going to be replacing me, Mr. Jeff Brandt. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you for the introduction. Really can't replace Chris. Transition, it's been a wonderful transition. As Chris said, my name is Jeff Brandt. So I spent 30 years in K-12 public, primarily in the Oak Hills local school district, where I've had numerous administrative experiences from middle school principal, high school principal, human resources, and then the previous 9, I was superintendent. So it's been a little bit different coming to Butler County. It's been great. It's really been a really smooth transition. I really thank Chris and the team at DSC. Got great leadership here, and Debbie and Randy, and really just enjoyed my time. I've had some interaction with them just through our league affiliation when I was with the Oak Hills and the GMC. So I look really forward to Chris, like Chris said, just continuing our partnership and continuing the great things that we're doing for our community in Middletown in particular. I want to thank you guys as a board for all that you do. You guys got a tough job today. I think you know everything going on in public ed. So thank you for your service to the children and the staff and the families of Middletown and across Butler County. So again, I look forward to working with you guys, continue the great partnership we've had with Middletown City, and I wish you and your family a happy holiday season. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
No, congratulations,
Thank you.
Chris,
Yeah.
on your retirement.
Congratulations.
Jeff, good to meet you. Thank you for coming tonight. Secondly, I'd like to welcome Waverly Eckert to the podium. Did I say that right? Almost. How should have I said it? Wavy. Well, I'm sorry, Wavy.
Good evening. My name is Wavy Earhart, and I am a community member. I attend a church in Middletown, and our church, we are active with a couple of Middletown elementary schools. And tonight, I'm here to thank the board for all that you guys do for our students here in Middletown, and to ask to say a prayer over our schools, staff, the Middletown School District, and just our community in general. And so I'm here to ask permission to do that.
Yeah, you're fine to do that.
You want to bow your head with me? Heavenly Father, we ask you for your divine protection over all our schools, students, teachers, and staff. Place a hedge of protection around our school buildings, classrooms, and hallways. Guard our children's minds, hearts, and bodies from all harm and distractions. Give wisdom to the students as they learn and to the teachers as they lead. Provide our administrators and decision makers with discernment and quick thinking. Grant peace to our school communities and surround them with your presence. In the name of Jesus, we rebuke every spirit of fear, violence, and evil that seeks to harm our schools. We declare that no weapon formed against them shall prosper, and that all evil plans will be halted. Remind us that you have not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, and we will not be afraid, but take comfort in your promises. Lord, fill our schools with your peace that surpasses all understanding. Remind us that you are near, even when we face challenges. May your love and truth take root in the hearts of our students. Help them to trust you with their lives and to know that you have a plan for each of them. Give them favor and grace and help them excel in their studies and in life. We ask that you send your warring angels to watch over, guard, and shield every student and worker in our school district. Be our refuge and strength and a very present help in trouble. We commit our schools to you and thank you in advance for your protection and guidance throughout the school year. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Bailey.
Thank you.
All right, I'd like to welcome Mr. Eric Stotzing, our business manager, to present on our various projects in the district. Thank you, Eric, for joining us tonight.
Good evening. So I think we're going to have a few technical difficulties. A lot of my presentation is with some pictures and videos that we'll jump through tonight. What I want to do is take a few minutes and go through and update you where we're at with the transportation project, which is one of the ones that is the main project we've got going on. So slideshow. And
There you go.
there we go. Okay.
Know it by heart.
Oh, I can do this without it. Yeah, it's not liking it.
There it
There we
is.
go.
There we go. Okay. So just wanted to give an update on where we're at with the transportation project. We're rapidly coming to the point where we had anticipated this project being wrapped up. And there are a couple of things that we still need to do. The where we're at, the transportation facility is out on Cincinnati Dayton Road. It did involve two parcels, our existing parcel and another that had some existing facilities on it before we went through the upgrade project. Here's some pictures of the existing facilities. You guys toured, we went through it, you saw a number of the things that needed to go through. That was the old Frontier building that was on site, as well as our old wood shop. There were there that we combined into one. Portions of our maintenance. We went having a new facility. It was, as you can see from the pictures, if they can stay up, the interior of the facility was small, dated, with items that were in there. If you looked at the shop areas, we had some water intrusion and other things that we were going through to look to correct. The facilities just needed, as far as where we were at and what we needed. So you can see this is a portion of where our grounds crew was. Section that we had where we stored many of our vehicles. And we were looking to combine those into a new building. If you look at the outside of the facility, this was where we parked our buses, as well as the maintenance shop along the left-hand side and the wood shop along the right. So we started in May of 2024. Seems kind of crazy that it's been that long ago at this point that we've gone through, but we are rapidly ending or coming to the point of completion of this building. We did get substantial completion October 17th of the main building, which I'm excited to show you here in just a few minutes, which allowed us then to go ahead and move the facilities into a portion, demo the previous portion that was there to kind of move forward. Our original completion date was today. We were today. Unfortunately, different ideas. So we had, if you recall, a few weeks ago, to not be in school, as well as in between now and the snowstorm that we just had, multiple inches of heavy. So the ability to do is to not do a portion of the parking lot that is in place. So I was hoping to come at this point and say we're on time. We're not. We're not on time. Good news is, we'll talk a little bit about budget later, so, as we get through that. So, looking at where we are, we do have a new facility. Not quite completed yet, and I'll show you what parts are not. This is what it looked like. That picture was from the snow that was there. That's our new facility. Inside, the right-hand side is a picture that's a little bit prior to that, as far and it's a little sunnier to see that. If you go to the next part, this completed. The picture on the left-hand side is the snow from this morning. The picture on the right-hand side is that same parking lot that is currently in gravel. With all the cold weather, today, they actually closed early. So, you cannot put in asphalt unless it's 40 degrees and rising, and that the ground is stable enough to do that. So, it was a mutual decision to talk with who is our construction manager, the asphalt contractor, to say, what can we do to get it temporary, not put in a product that is not going to be something that we want it to do. So that's what we've done. So we are delaying the finishing of that parking lot until, I don't have a date for you at this point. We'll talk about a little bit when that's going to happen, to actually have that piece completed, because we want the quality to be there. Good news is, we're moving into the facility anyway. We're moving in travel in enough area to get us off of our temporary parking lot, which is down the street, to get us onto this spot and get us to where we can operate from this facility. So I do want to show you just a quick video. You can pop that up, Marie. A quick virtual tour of when we took possession of this building. Just a video of the entire facility. Gives you a taste of what it looks like. And then I'm going to show you something right now. Moving the overall project.
Get it?
There's very nice music on this too. Maybe put this. This is the facility before we moved into it. This is partially where we are at with respect to possession. I'm just going to do this one more time. We're going to skip this part, and I'll sit.
Feel free, then I can send it to the board.
It just gives you an idea of what the building looked like as we took possession before we started moving anything into pictures and show you what it looks like now that we've started moving in. So beautiful facility, well meets our needs, I think from now going into the future. I just wanted to give you a taste of it because I do want you to come out and look at it. So we're going to talk a little bit about that more. Nice areas compared to the pictures you saw before, as far as the ceilings and everything else. That's what we were going for a nice work area for everybody. So just to show you what we've done, I'm going to scroll through what's happening there, and then give you an idea what the next project timeline is. Previous, there wasn't any furniture. This is the furniture in places. It changes the spaces completely as you start going through with the training room and where we started moving buses into the facility. So all of this maintenance is on one side, transportation is on the other, so consolidation of facilities, which allows us a lot of operational efficiencies. But as you look, nice areas for us to be able to put the trucks and the tools in the areas that need to be in all those areas. Exterior of the building, that is what a front parking lot actually looks like. directly in front of the building and behind. Unfortunately, that front section. So we will get that in the spring. So I said, project's not on time, but the project is on budget, okay, as far as where we are at. Delay is not going to impact the budget, okay? It will, all that is covered by them through that process. But as far as the building construction, our total GMP was just under $10 million. We are 93% financially complete at this point. We're a little bit further along with the building than that because they haven't built for us. I would say we're about 96% complete, with the exception of that parking lot that goes through in order to do that. So we'll continue. Dollars of this was $6.7 million was ESSER and ARC money. We met the spending requirements in order for us to go through and do that, as well as the program guidelines in order to make those pieces done, which was one of the big benefits of us moving. Project timeline. What I said was, where are we at today? We expected to be done today. We're not there.
We're close.
We're very close. We're not there. We are moving buses from on the 22nd and 23rd and moving off of the parking lot there. Transportation will be 100% on site at that point. The fueling system and the parking lot are two areas that are not completed at this point. We do it in January for the fueling system, in spring for the, and it has to be 40 degrees and rising at some point, and the asphalt plants have to be open. That's the key thing. So can't tell you when that's. But those will be completed in the spring. With the final punch list items, we were anticipating being March. It's now going to be summer at this point in order to do it. Again, there is no financial impact to us in order to go through to do that. Upon where we're at, it's still part of the official dedication. We were hoping to do sooner this year. Unfortunately, we want to wait until the facility is actually complete before we do that. So we'll give you some timelines on facility dedication moving forward when they're complete. This also does have some off-site components that we talked about previously, which is moving the maintenance shop from behind the high school, which I'll show you a picture of that here in just a minute. We do need to complete and upgrade the maintenance shop for moving in of technology and warehouse. Those are ongoing projects at this point as we move forward. And then we do want to move the warehouse once that facility becomes upgraded. And if you want to look at the building that I am speaking of, school, which is the current maintenance facility, those items are moving in there to do that. So our plan is coming to fruition just a little bit later than what we anticipated. So I do want to take a few minutes. Additional project forward that is on the docket after this gets completed. One is the renovations of Sophie Avenue, the old central building for preschool that was presented previously. There are current preschool buildings at 1516 First Avenue to move into the 4601 Sophie Avenue building. We do have a target that we're currently in planning for upgrades that need to be happening to make those work, which includes upgrades to cafeteria, playgrounds, parking, and parental drop-off. We've met with them, we've met with architect, we've met with groups in order to get that process moving. Target date of that upgrades completed before school starts, which is August 7th. They do have some guidelines or things that they need to do in order to have the licensing completed. And then the other project received financial School Facilities Commission for the high school, middle school project. And if time frame of that, we've talked about it previously, there is a connector that connector project at this point can move forward because it is financially closed out. We are in the investigatory phases of doing that because if you go back, that project was actually contracted in 2016 when that process started. The project finished in 2018. The architectural work was partially completed, as well as the construction manager work was partially completed in that original project. That is creating a few complications as far as the way to go through as we work forward to get through that. So we are working on what that means and where that goes. In addition to that, there are some changes on the outside of the building that need to occur once that connector happens, because it's going to change the flow of a variety of things that are going on at the high school, including athletics, including dismissal, and a number of things that go with that. So with that being said, there's some outside pieces that we're putting together to do that and working on that process now. Big piece is, how do we know there's funding available to pay for at least a portion of it. Until we go through the contracting, we don't know specifically what that's going to be. But the key piece is making sure that we don't double dip on the architectural work and the contract management work that was done previously. So that's where we're at. We are working through that with the attorneys, architects, and construction managers to figure those pieces out right now. So I hope to be back to you pretty soon and tell you about where we're at, what we're going, as well as input from the high school about some of the changes that are going on, including some of the redesign pieces and how those kind of things can fit in with the connector. That's all I have right now. There's a lot going on. Okay? There is a lot going on. So hopefully that gives you an idea of where we're at with the transportation facility and what we've got on the docket coming up with those two facilities. And I'll certainly open it up to questions.
I had a question in regards to, I remember vaguely that we purchased steel and other products for that connector project years ago. It's not a Cohen Brothers, is it? We can't,
No, it is
We
on
still have
site
it.
in a warehouse for the construction manager of record at time. And
All
it
right.
is there, does exist, we do have it.
still have it. And then the brick itself that matches the space when we go along it.
So it will, yes, may not match exactly because we did not
been 10
purchase the
years.
brick.
We didn't
So we
purchase
will
it.
do the absolute best we can as far as looking through that. All that design work certainly will bring back, I'll bring some renderings like I did with the bus garage so you guys can see what that looks like and what the functionality of that will be.
If you were guessing, is that a project that would be this summer or out from this summer?
I would love to do it this summer, just based upon time frame. I am not going to commit to you right now that that is where I am at. I will soon let you know where we're going and what we are. That contracting of work that's been previously done, we don't want to lose that, so we want to make sure that we're doing what we can to move forward with
That's fair.
that. Any other
Other questions?
questions?
No, exciting, lots going on.
Eric's been very busy, very busy for the
Always.
past couple years. We definitely want to give you a shout out, Mr. Satsing.
Well, thank you.
Many projects going, many plates spinning, and you do it beautifully.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yep,
I
you've done a
appreciate
great
that,
job.
Eric. And I can't wait to get you on site when we do the official
It is
dedication,
beautiful.
because it literally
beautiful.
is beautiful. The pictures, specifically with it flashing on and off, does not give it justice.
Does not.
No.
As far as where it's
Yeah.
going to go.
Thank
So
you.
I would I can't wait to get you out there. It is a facility that is going to work for transportation and maintenance for years to come.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you.
Eric.
Thanks,
you.
Eric.
I'd like to welcome our athletic director,
Director.
Mr. Joe Campolongo, to the podium, present regarding field trips and chaperone guidelines. Please tell me you don't have a thing for our
No,
screen.
he does not.
Just words, just words.
Just words.
Good, we'll take words.
Members of the board, I'd like to thank you for welcoming myself in to provide some feedback and some comments. The first things I wanted to go over are our two proposed field trips. The first one is for boys basketball. The second one is marked for wrestling. We actually have an update, so the basketball trip is no longer needing to be discussed. We had to pull out of the event. To give some insight on that, the cost of the flights have nearly tripled just in the last maybe like couple weeks. So when we're talking initially, we were looking at maybe that $100 to $200 range per individual for the flight. Those are now well over $400. And after talking to Brandy Day with the Athletic Boosters and then Coach Edwards, just didn't feel comfortable with the potential of the timing, ensuring the funding. And so we felt that the best decision was to pull out of that and plan for the following season for some type of trip. So regarding boys basketball, that won't be a trip that we need to consider for tonight. The wrestling trip is one that I am proposing for your board approval. In terms of the trip itself, they would be going to Oregon Clay High School, which is in the greater Toledo area. It involves a one-night stay at a hotel, 3 to 4 coaches, along with 14 student athletes. It comes out to about a $60 per student is how the price breaks down. However, no student is actually having to do any paying for it. The fundraising came last spring. The funds are all there. They ran a spring wrestling tournament back in the month of April, which generated plenty of revenue to cover the trip. So I didn't know if you guys had any questions regarding that specific
So,
trip.
Mr. Capelano, can you explain really just from beginning to end with the fundraising, so how you determine the fundraisers to how the money runs through your boosters?
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, so I'll give you the example with wrestling, because that's kind of my wheelhouse. But so we put in for a bid to host a club tournament, if you will. It's a statewide organization, actually a national-wide organization. We won the bid. Therefore, we provide the event. Any of the revenue that comes in, we push everything through our athletic boosters. So we're working closely with Randy Day to ensure that any money that's brought in is going through that athletic boosters. And then we can rely on the athletic boosters to essentially process any type of transactions, whether that's paying for hotels, food for the kids, and so forth. And that's what we were doing with boys basketball as well too. Everything was being run through the athletic boosters. They're anything from hosting scrimmages, where there's entries, off-season events. We use a platform called Vertical Raise, which helps generate the revenue. But again, that's linked up with the athletic boosters. If anything that we're doing as a program or a department is the promotional piece. Let's help get the people to come into the door, but at the same time, that money needs to go through the athletic boosters, which has been very clear moving forward with our coaches. So hopefully that answered.
Yeah, just to follow up in regards to the money that was raised for the basketball trip,
Yep.
what will happen to those funds?
Well, what we're doing is we're having that stay with the athletic boosters, and because now we're planning for winter 2026 for some type of trip. But there could be other things that the basketball program needs if they're wanting to get new warm-ups, if they're wanting to get into special events that do require entry fees. So the money that we're raising is always going to be for the program. And I want to make sure that's very clear too moving forward. And that's with any one of our fundraisers. It should never be an individual-based fundraiser, whether that's individual student, athlete, or coach, or whoever. We make sure that it's to better the program. So if that means those funds are going to sit there for the next idea or the next thought to better the program, then we're achieving exactly what we're trying to do.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Capelano explained, we have the basketball extended field trip on the consent agenda this evening that we'll have to vote to remove from the agenda. And then the wrestling, we'll move forward with the wrestling.
And then, do we good? Moving on?
Well, I don't know, does anybody else have any questions?
Okay. So my next piece is our chaperone expectations. This is something that's honestly been discussed in the athletic department for quite a while, before I was your head AD. And it's just about making sure that we have the right guidelines in place to allow for a safer, more enjoyable experience at our athletic events. I'm not sure if anybody's had a chance to have they seen the redo? Okay, good. So in a nutshell, we're asking that the individuals who do attend the game that are students at Middletown High School, that they should be providing their student ID card, which will help verify that they are one of our students. And that will allow them to purchase a ticket for entry into the game. Without being able to produce your Middletown High School student ID card, you will need to be accompanied by a responsible adult. That's spelled out in the guidelines. We're trying to be preventative. We're trying to be proactive. We understand that this will have some backlash. We understand that with any decision we make. But we want to make sure that we are providing the best possible experience for our community members, best possible experience for our students, our teachers, our volunteers, our game workers. We're not going to be alone in this. We're trying to be leaders, not followers. However, we do have 2 GMC schools who have these things already in place. Coleraine has operated with their chaperone guidelines for a couple of seasons. Mason rolled theirs out in their football season. I have discussions that are being taken place, from what I've been told, from the athletic directors at Fairfield, Hamilton, and Oak Hills. But I want to make sure that I'm very clear that the overall goal in this is to be proactive and preventative. So if there's any questions on that, this is something that we are ready to implement beginning with the new year, January 1st. I believe January, I think it's the 5th or 6th, would be our first home event in which this would be rolled out.
Just point of clarification first. So with a high school or middle school ID, they can attend without a chaperone?
High school.
High school.
High school ID. They will show that upon entry before even purchasing a ticket or showing us that they purchased a ticket. They will need to produce their ID.
Middle school, what's the policy and what's our current policy? If you could just outline what is current.
Sure.
And then what that moves to.
Yeah, so currently there are no policies, there's no chaperone expectations currently. So what we have seen in the past, and we've already seen in our first and only home basketball game on the boys' side, is we will have students who I have seen as young as very young elementary students who are essentially dropped off at our facility as early as sometimes as 4 o'clock when the doors open for a 4:30 game. And those students are alone at a very young age and are not picked up until well after the varsity game has been completed, which sometimes can be around 9:45 to 10 o'clock at night. And that's without overtime. This is a trend that we have seen. And to speak freely, it's dangerous, in my opinion, as a parent. And I think it's very important for us to take some necessary steps to, again, provide that safe and enjoyable experience. It's not necessarily the safe and enjoyable experience we're talking about for the community members, but for the child themselves, to ensure that they are properly supervised at all times by somebody that they know, by somebody that they go home to. So what we are looking to do now is at the high school age. That is where our line is. If you are a current middle schooler, you need to be accompanied by a responsible adult, hopefully somebody within your household if that's possible. If there was some type of situation that would arise where there is an incident or anything that needs to be addressed with that student, we know we can go directly to the adult.
Again, just clarification. So say I'm a student at a different high school and I want to attend our game with a friend. Are they able to attend our game without a chaperone?
By these guidelines, yes, because we are trying to ensure that we can control the controllables, which are the students at Middletown City Schools. So that is the one caveat that's going to be difficult to monitor police. We see the same thing at the other GMC schools. But again, if that individual is one of our students, they need to be able to produce their student ID.
I guess my concern is centered on, like, when I was a child, like, there were movie theaters in town. There were 3 of them. There was Putt-Putt. There was a mall that you could walk through. It seems like, as you look at our world today, look at Middletown today, there are fewer and fewer opportunities for kids to congregate. Should they be dropped off at 4 and picked up at 10? Yeah, that's a point of debate. But my apprehension or my concern is that we're reducing the number of opportunities for kids to socialize, to support. We have a great football team. Part of the incitement or for young people to kind of be a part of that journey with them, our community to be a part of that journey with them. Can they do that with a chaperone? Yeah, but does it limit the opportunities for some? And for my youth, I mean, yeah, there were disagreements at football games. There were concerns in terms of people's behavior at times. it's not a perfect system no matter which way you go. And I appreciate the time, and I know that this has gone for a long period of time of figuring out what is the best way forward. I am concerned in terms of the limitations and what that will mean for opportunities for young people and their families. And so this is kind of new information for the board, for me, to know that it's going to be implemented within a matter of days, weeks. That also is a little concerning, just the timeliness of it. I don't know if it's shared by my colleagues or not, or if I'm just one person on a board, because it seems like a policy change, and a significant one at that. And there will be questions and concerns around that, and we'll be working through that in real time as these things kind of pop up in January. And I don't know how that will all play out, understanding it
Sure.
likely could become a little bit messy.
Yeah, everything you're saying, I totally understand. I expect that kind of feedback. What I will respond with is I also look at it as an opportunity. I look at it as an opportunity to bring in more people, because the days of dropping your child off and having them out for X amount of hours at a sporting event could turn into we're now inviting that entire family, or we're inviting that extra chaperone to have a similar experience as what their child is currently having. And now we build even bigger community relationships because we're able to bring in more. So I understand that on one side we can sit there and think we are pushing away people, but I think that's all about how our perspectives on it. Like, our perspective is we're trying to bring more community involvement. If that means requiring our students who are not at the high school age to be accompanied by somebody within their household or another adult, I look at that as an untapped resource, somebody that we can bring in who normally may not be there.
I guess to kind of go on that logic, I do think cost is a factor for families at times, and to consider whether I can allocate those resources to 1, 2, 3 children and me as an adult. And I can't speak to the people and their decisions on why they drop off, why they do what they do. I think it's just creating systems and culture that kind of hopefully mitigate, like you say, be proactive. As I've been to events, we have a lot of adults there. We have one of Middletown's finest here tonight. I mean, we have Middletown's finest at our football games, at our basketball games. We have administrators who are at those games and who are walking around the tunnel spaces, trying to make sure that things are operating in a safe and environment. And so I'm trying to work through in real time, is this the best solution, or is this heavy-handed in certain ways? And I don't have an answer, but I think it's worth a conversation.
Sure.
And again, coming in where we are within the conversation kind of makes it hard, because you guys have done a lot of work and you've talked through these things. And so I haven't been privy to a lot of those conversations, what makes it hard to sit here, because unfortunately when things kind of fall apart sometimes, we do get messages, we do get correspondence, and we have to unpack that and provide some insight. And I don't know how, right now, as I sit here honestly, how I would respond to that. Because I, again, don't know how I feel about it entirely.
So again, middle school, high school students have to have a ID card, right?
So in order to be unaccompanied, you must be a high school student and able to produce your student ID card.
Student ID card. Middle school has to be accompanied,
Yes.
Preferably with a family member, but it does not have to be a family
Correct.
member?
Does not have to be. That obviously would be our preference, but again, no, that
But does not have to be?
Correct.
That's a little better, because I could just go up to, I could check with anybody of age and see if they're going to be at the game and if they'll keep an eye on my kid. I have to say I agree with Chris, because we are an urban district, under-resourced, low income, which typically suggests low parent engagement. And when you understand that, you are limiting those kids who need that kind of activity most. You just really, you are, because they are not going to have the engagement, desired engagement for the school. But knowing that it can be any adult makes me feel less angst. Second to that, the timeline feels tight. If we can somehow notify families and give them enough time that they fully understand, hey, little Johnny cannot be just dropped off, because there's still going to be kids who are dropped off and then they're going to just be plastered at the window, I want to come in. That is not fair. We need to have something in place that addresses that, because that will happen for a while.
Change takes time.
It takes some time. Give the parents some heads up. And consider that the folks that's going to impact the most are the folks that don't have that parent engagement, right? So it's punitive, really. So we should just consider that. So the timeliness, giving proper notification, and making sure that they understand any adult that is willing to be responsible for your kid can be utilized, can be tapped on. Other than that, thanks for recognizing something
Absolutely.
needs to be done.
I don't expect like clean numbers, but it's because I get a sense sometimes too, there are a few people that do things that impact a larger population of opportunities for many more. And those kinds of situations are hard to kind of understand too, where one person or three people make a mistake and then everybody is paying a price for that. And then you become cynical. It almost shifts you in that other direction. I'm doing my things right, and yet I'm still being limited and penalized by it too, to your point about being punitive. It's
Can
kind of
we-
obvious I'm struggling with this a little bit,
Yeah.
probably.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I am too, a little bit. Can we also consider, so for elementary kiddos, there is the monetary issue. You know, sometimes parents have just enough to send their kid, and they can't attend, and we have to consider that, because that's just the reality. So can anything be put in place that, I don't know, if you want to come just so that your kid or several kids can participate, there is this thing you can do or something to help out with that, because for someone who has the finances, it's no brainer, it's no biggie.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of families who absolutely do not have that extra $5 to accompany their kid.
Absolutely.
So
And I love that you brought that up, because to be honest with you, that wasn't an aspect that we thought about. And I think that is extremely important. So whether that is, and I'm just kind of spitballing here, whether that's something we say where if you're I keep saying student athlete because I'm used to it, I'm sorry. If we have a student that's coming in as an elementary student, and we have mom or dad or grandma, grandpa, whoever's bringing them in, we're not doing this to eliminate money. We're not doing this to make a lot of money.
Right.
So the last thing we want to do is have a dollar sign prevent somebody from being able to enjoy that experience. I will say that until I'm blue in the face. So yeah, that's definitely going to be something that I'm going to go back to my department and have our meetings with, because to play out your scenario, I can see that if I have an adult coming with their 4th grade kid because they want to make sure they can go to the game, and they're only there because of the chaperone guidelines, then I'm not going to be charging both of them for admission. So I'm going to make sure that, especially if I have that supervising adult who is taking the time to ensure that they are providing the opportunity for that child to have the experience, I am not hitting them worse in the wallet
Right.
than what I would have been if I didn't have these guidelines in place. So I hope that addresses that, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that you brought that up, because I'll be honest, that wasn't an angle that we had thought about. And so I think that's an easy fix, if I do say.
Coupled with that, like understanding like in the evening, people have shift work, people have different responsibilities with childcare. I'm just kind of working through in my mind the different varieties of issues that could be posed that would, and maybe I read too far, think too far into it, but I can imagine that there are going to be families that, yeah, sorry you can't come is going to be the answer to a lot of these different opportunities. And to go back what I initially said, there aren't a lot. there aren't a lot of things kids can do. And frankly, I'm surprised that kids are as well behaved as they are in our world sometimes. Like, I look out and I just see they do a pretty darn good job, all things considered. Was fortunate to meet with some of our students last week at Xavier, where I work, and they're awesome young people, thoughtful, and to understand, like, yeah, this is your time to get together and cheer on your successful football team. And as the next generation are going to be the elementary age kids who are seeing their stars on the field and getting to be a part of that. I don't know how many it impacts, but it's going to impact families. I don't know.
I just have a technical question. Is this an administrative decision as far as the board's role in this decision? Is this strictly administrative decision, or does this require some type of action from the board itself?
It is purely administrative decision.
Okay.
Yeah, so what my two colleagues said, only issue I had is, I did see it said you had to be 21. Could we make that 18? So maybe sometimes, kiddos can go with just a responsible adult? That's the
Yeah.
only thing.
I think that's a very good point. I think that's definitely something that can be looked at and entertained. Like, I personally wouldn't have much of an objection with that. But again, I like to have that as a collective conversation within the administrative staff. But I think that's a very fair point.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My last question in regards to the students who do things within an event that, I don't know, are against our code of conduct. What are those penalties? Are they able to, and I don't know if that's a question for you, I don't want to put you on the spot. I would just be curious in terms of the preventative things. Would it be the penalties for the kids who do engage in a fight, or who, I don't know, what they do at a game that gets them in trouble?
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, we have guidelines, obviously, in our athletic handbook and school policies, school rules, that kind of thing. Just to use your example that you brought up, if there were to be a fight, it would be the silver lining, if there's a good thing about having this in place, is I'm at least sending that student who could be non-high school age home directly with whoever they were being chaperoned by. So if you are the chaperone, you are assuming responsibility for the actions and the behavior of who you are chaperoning. So we've had instances in the arena, we've had instances at Barnett Stadium where there have been fights, and we've had to immediately dismiss the individuals involved. And if they're not high school age, which we've had that experience of non-high school age getting into fights at our contests, we are pushing them out. We need to be able to push them out with an adult, with their chaperone. And that goes hand in hand with that safe and enjoyable experience, that safe environment. It goes beyond just providing it safe for the people attending who don't have anybody to chaperone. It's the actual student in every possible way, in every possible scenario, making sure they are properly safe, provided the right care.
Just one last comment. I don't necessarily disagree with having this change. My only question is, again, when I think about whether this is administrative or a board policy, as you've heard, there's been a lot of questions. Those lines keep getting redrawn as we're having this conversation. If you implement a change and that change goes poorly, the first thing that's going to happen is folks are going to contact us.
Sure.
My biggest concern is that I believe that we should know what that final document looks like before it's implemented. It just seems to me that as we're writing this in real time, that it only opens up potential problems for all of us long term. So whether it's administrative or whether it would require a board action itself, I just think it's the more responsible approach that, having gotten feedback from the board and raised those questions before this would be implemented, I would just ask that we have clarity on what that final document looks like, because this is going to have a pretty significant impact when it's done. I actually think it's a welcome change personally. I understand my colleagues' concerns about that, but I also see the need for change. So I welcome the change, but I do have concerns about us not being clear about what that document would look like. I think it's good administrative practice and it's good board practice for us to know what that final document would look like.
Absolutely.
We can get back to you.
Yeah.
I think we've heard loud and clear your comments this evening. I think Joe's made, notes on that. And before we do something, we'll definitely get that out. But remember, it is safety, really the safety of our students, spectators, community. But we'll get that to you.
Yeah, I mean, we've got, what I've heard is GMC has some documents. Again, just hearing this and then having this implemented again, I just think it's going to open up some potential pushback. And not to overstate this again, but I really would like to see, and I think this is probably where Chris is going with this as well, is that just saying that this is an administrative decision, I think it's a little broader than that, because it's a little bigger decision than just saying it's an administrator's role. It's a district change, and so I'd like to see that before it was actually implemented.
Sure, we got you.
Absolutely.
Good. Yeah.
We appreciate the feedback.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Any other questions, comments?
Thank you for your work.
Yeah, so I'm very excited for introduce the head coach that brought up Middletown their first ever regional title in football. So I'd like to welcome Coach Kali Jones to the podium.
Joe, can you tell us a little bit about Coach Jones?
Yeah, well, I'm
You
gonna.
might steal his thunder?
No, I don't know.
Yeah. He's been with us 2 years.
I think, well, the first thing I always like to talk about, and I'm to talk about to others about Coach Jones, he is a Marine, and I think that goes a long way, and it gives you an insight in terms of how he structures, how he demands for the program needs, and it goes beyond the football field. I told him the other day, and I'm not going to go too much into it because I need him to talk, but I've noticed a considerable change with having him in this position, and it has nothing to do with the football field. It has everything to do with our hallways, the conduct of the students who are not football players, the conduct of the students who are not student athletes. And then what I've also seen, thankfully, is other head varsity coaches who are now pulling the things he is putting into place within his program. I'm now seeing that implemented into other programs as well, too. So he is a true leader of not just student athletes and students, but he is a true leader amongst his peers. So I will step aside for Coach Kali Jones.
How you guys doing today?
Good. We invited you, and so don't feel compelled. First off, just on behalf of the board, I'd like to say thank you. I prepared some words, but I'd just like to just talk in regards to what I saw over the course of the season in terms of what you did within the high school and in the community at large. The amount of enthusiasm, the amount of engagement, the amount of purple that people were wearing. And Middletown has this rich, deep history around athletics, around just extraordinary people that have done extraordinary things. And you really tapped into that. And to do that in such a short span of time and then do it in such a large scope was impressive. Growing up, my parents didn't let me play football. I'm not tough enough, according to my mom and dad. But to see the toughness that you're able to instill, and the Marine part was, I think you can see that. But you can see like there's a certain way, and I admire my parents because you led by an example. And that's what I think good coaches do. My dad's a coached for 35 years. And you can see the power that has on the reality and then yet the future of the people that you are coaching. The people who are on the field, but then also their parents and their younger siblings and the school in general, that it creates this culture that that Middletown thirsts for. And you saw that, hopefully. And hopefully you understand how much it's appreciated. And as a board, we appreciate the work, not just of you, but your team, your coworkers, your squad of coaches defensively. You did amazing things on the field. But that whole environment that you helped to create from our vantage point has done a lot. And just want to say a sincere thank you and know that we know. It's not easy. It is not easy, and it's extraordinary what you were able to accomplish. And so again, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Urso.
Thank you.
I want to do this. I want to do that especially because I graduated from high school in '77, and at that time we thought that we had a very impressive athletic department and basketball team and all that. So I used to think it was the norm. You know, the middies were just all that. It wasn't until recent years I realized that we were maybe not all that, doing super great. I'm not a real sports enthusiast, so I just don't follow sports I didn't know. But this season, I had purple everywhere. I couldn't go any. They were tying it on my antenna. Well, I don't have an antenna on the car, but they were tying it on the car and on the door handles, and folks were outside, go middies. It was so cool to see all of that Middletown pride again, to feel that, you know, you don't necessarily miss what you've never had, and for a lot of years people, it just wasn't the expectation, and all of a sudden this year it was Middie pride oozing out the ears. So just thank you for bringing that back, because it was exciting to be a part of that and to feel all that excitement again. So, yeah, thank you.
Coach, I just want to say that I think that it's so great to see you bring the best out of our young men at the high school, and we needed that. It's very important within our city. As you know, it's been a while since we felt the feeling of winning. You know, we hear a lot of negativity about the city of Middletown or Middletown City Schools, and to see us go as far as we did, that is Middie pride. That feels good, yeah. And we want to continue that the best of our ability. But I know that I watched that game. I was on the edge of my seat with my family, and it was awesome. You know, I hated to see us lose, but for us to go that far, it felt so good. You know, it really did. And I think our city needs that, and it is something that I hope that we can keep you here to continue, and really appreciate all the work that you've done this year.
Appreciate it.
Last thing I'll add, you open up a lot of doors for young people, both men and women, but the young people that are now going on to some college opportunities that will allow them to heighten their ceiling, you change their course in many circumstances. And there are a lot of young people in Middletown that are dreaming bigger, and that's a testament to what people can do. And so thank you.
Appreciate it.
I had a couple athletes say, you know that we're the original GOATs now.
Oh my goodness.
Like,
Well, I don't know about that.
I know, I was like, what does that mean exactly? Well, the greatest of all time, because it's never been done before. I was like, okay.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to take your words, because you said you were changing the culture, and you definitely are. I appreciate what you've done with the boys and all across the board, from outside even your fundraisers and getting the community involved. Appreciate it. It definitely is making Middletown proud of you and the whole program. So thank you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
So I'd like to say a couple things, because I know Coach Jones is more than a coach.
Yes.
You know, being on, being introduced to Coach Jones and really what he's done. You know, a lot of you were talking about the athleticism and opening doors, but one of his parents said this the best, that he turns boys into men. And so it's more, you know, that plays out in football, but just really in life, turning boys into men. And that was one of this parent kept going on and on and on about what his son had learned from Coach Jones. And then also, I get to see him every day when I'm in the high school. So he's not always in the athletic director of football's office. He has bathroom duty, he's walking through the halls, all the students know him, he knows the students, but really it's you've become quite the Middie in the hallways, and you've touched more than the football program, you've touched the whole school. And just your interactions with our students and showing them what's possible, holding them to high expectations. So we thank you for that. You definitely welcome that, but that's each and every day. So it's off the football field, it's on the football field, it's with the girls, it's with the boys, it's with everyone, in very many different ways at the high school. So,
Thank you.
okay.
And different roles, and I will shut up, I promise, but you know that Coach Khalid also performed for us for Middletown Rocks, so he was totally not coaching then.
When I saw it. I did not know that side of it.
And he did, and he takes, literally will take one for the team. Thank you.
And so again, we invited you here tonight. We just wanted to express our appreciation on behalf of the Board of Education. You're welcome to say anything, but you don't feel compelled to either. It was more about us making sure that you know that we know how important the things that you are doing and make sure that you allow your team, whether it be your staff and your players. It runs deep, and you've really done a lot as a group and as a team for the city of Middletown. And so welcome to say things, but don't feel compelled to either.
Well, I want to say thank you to all of you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for welcoming me in this fashion. I want to say thank you to Ms. Hauser for hiring me and being a part of that process. We did have boxes that we wanted to check, and when it came to what we were going to deliver, when it comes to what we're going to deliver on when it comes from a program perspective. And I think we've checked those boxes, and we checked quite a few more boxes that a lot of people weren't expecting, but the staff and myself, we were expecting to accomplish major things, not just on the field of play, but in the community and in the classrooms, outside of the classroom as well, in the hallways. I'm really proud of the young men that I've had the fortunate opportunity to coach. It is an honor and a blessing to coach young people, and I hold a pretty high standard when it comes to accountability, responsibility, and commitment. And love is accountability. And the boys know that they're going to get coached hard, but they know that they're going to be loved harder. And so that is our mission. I'm fortunate and blessed to have such a phenomenal staff of assistant coaches, an assistant head coach who was a Midi through and through, Tyreek Kendall, my defensive coordinator, who was just voted the state
Saw
assistant
that.
coach of the year, all the way down to who I coached in high school, our offensive coordinator, Damian Lee, who works in the junior high. I coached him at Woodward High School. And so we have a saying that we implement with all of the young people that we coach. We're all about the 40-year relationship over the 4-year relationship, because I want to be invited to their weddings. I want to get a phone call when they have a child after they get married. And so that type of relationship is what it's about. The football experience is just a short segment in their life, and it's an opportunity for not only the student athlete, but the coach as well, to develop a bond and a relationship that will last decades, and that's what it's about. And so it's been an honor to be a Midi. I was so happy to see the community come together, because when I was being interviewed, that was one of the boxes that we wanted to check. And I think we started off early with making sure that we got community involvement. The young men that we coach, they go to the schools and read to the young people. And so that was a big piece in bridging a gap, which I thought had been kind of lost over the last stint of coaches that Middletown has had. Not to say that they were bad coaches or anything like that, but just to kind of rekindle that fire and that flame with the student athlete in high school to the student athlete in the middle school and elementary school, and connect and have a connection with the parents of those young people and with the different businesses in the community and things of that nature. And so I think that the job, that those young student athletes that we've coached, they've done a phenomenal job when it comes to checking off those boxes, really establishing the foundation of this particular team. The team last year really set a strong foundation even though they went 5-5 in the regular season, or we went 5-5 and lost our first playoff game. But I thought we accomplished a lot in that first season. And this season, it really kind of came full circle. And, we still got a lot of work to do. And so, it's good to see the city enthused, painting the city purple, seeing the community get behind us, really appreciating you guys get behind us. And we look forward to building a stronger culture, a stronger sense of pride. This is the GOAT team for now. And so I know Middletown has a history of a lot of successful athletes and some successful teams. But we always tell our young people that, we have to look at the facts, right? And the facts is that no Middletown football team has ever gone to the Final Four. And we did that. And it was everybody bonding together, everybody putting in their 2 cents and their little input to help strengthen the overall unit. And that's what unification is all about. There will be a couple outsiders that will, do what they do. But just like I told our quarterback in our banquet last night, that, leadership comes with praise and it comes with criticism. And so sometimes leadership can be lonely, but you have to understand that when you're a leader, it's what's going to happen, praise and criticism. And so they understand that, especially the seniors this year. And I'm proud of them. So thank you for having me. And thank you for all the wonderful compliments. Hopefully we'll keep building on those compliments.
Yes.
But thank you. I appreciate you.
See you again next year.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Some big things tonight, working
Yep.
through. All right, that brings
Okay.
us to the consent agenda. Is there a motion for approval? And do we need to sequence this to where we strike that first?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody has to make the motion to pull the field trip.
Is there a motion to remove the field trip for the high school basketball team from the consent agenda?
I make a motion to remove the high school basketball team's field trip from the consent agenda.
Is there a second, please?
Second the motion?
All right, Ms. Tuttle?
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mrs. Ramsey Hunter,
Yes.
Mrs. Stewart,
Yes.
Dr. Urso.
Yes. All right. And so is there now a motion to approve the new consent agenda that is now less the field trip for the high school basketball team?
So moved.
Is there a second, please?
Second?
Are there any questions, comments? Ms. Hauser, anything to kind of bring to light?
Pretty much routine, what you see on a consent agenda this evening. We have our contract with OSBA. You recall OSBA helps us with all of our policies. That's the contract for the year. That runs at $2,784. We're striking the boys basketball trip. Then we have the boys wrestling trip. That's in January, which is in Ohio, January 16th, 17th. We have a contract with the University of Dayton for a psychologist intern. We've done this in the past where we work with UD. The psych intern will start with us in January and work side by side with one of our Wildwood psychologists. And with the hopes that we'll have a position for them at the end. Then we have a lease agreement with Butler County ESC. That's for our Head Start programs that Early Declares. Those will remain the same, all 3 programs. It's really just an agreement on how we do business, the dollar figures attached to that contract. And then we have one contract for a student for a Warner County ESC placement. You've seen those contracts in the board agenda in the past. And then our personnel agenda and athletic agenda are that's it.
Are there any questions? There are none. Then Ms. Tuttle? Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mrs. Ramsey Hunter.
Yes.
All right. That will bring us, I think, all the way through to committee reports.
Oh, just for committees this time?
All right. Then that would bring us to Board of Education reports. Mr. Moore, anything to add?
Yes. Just want to say tonight is our last night with Ms. Stewart.
Yes.
Just wanted to say thank you, Verlena, for all your hard work. We've been doing this for a while now, so it's, transitioning and having new folks come on. It's always a challenge to get all of us working back together again. And I think we've done some good work together as a team in our time together. So you will be missed, and appreciate all the work that you've done on behalf of the board and our kids and families.
Thank you.
Then also, just wanted to say Merry Christmas to our staff and to our students. Stay warm, be good, and we'll see you at the first of the year. So Merry Christmas to everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Can I go now?
Yeah, absolutely.
What I forgot to say,
Oh, yes.
Debbie, was
Yes.
I could take this.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
all yours.
Thank you,
I
Mr.
apologize about that. Yes, we want to make sure that Verlena gets to take that home tonight. That's our
There's
that's our
no other
parting gift.
Verlena
I
Stewart.
told him this would be a really
There you
nice
go.
gift. I
There you
want
go.
this, so
Tuck it in there
thank
with,
you
yeah, there you
very
go.
much. I want to say thank you for this lovely gift. I appreciate it. Thank you for always having Kleenex at the desk here. I appreciate that. And it's been a pleasure to serve on the board. I knew nothing about public school system and how it worked when I started, and now I know a little bit about it. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I want to invite everybody to the ribbon cutting. If you haven't received a invitation, the Robert Sonny Hill Community Center is complete, and the ribbon cutting is this week, December 17th, which is Wednesday at 4:00 p.m. And while I'm very sad that everything didn't come to be as we initially went into the project with the partnership with the school, I think everything turned out well. The school district has the preschool programs that we hope to have initially, and the project is amazing and very nice. And if you're able to come out and celebrate with us, that would be great. While I will not be with the board when the transit building is finished and we tour it, I am looking forward to coming out and checking that out. I'm really happy that we completed that project and that it's going so well and within budget. Lastly, as the Butler Tech representative, which will now be Tara Ramsey Hunter, just be on the lookout for ribbon cuttings for the aviation project and the is it the bioscience? I'm sleeping. Those are tremendous assets for this community, and it's been a pleasure to serve on that board as well. And thank you for my name tag.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anything tonight, Ms. Hunter?
Yes, I would like to say thank you for the support and some of the information you given me along the way. On this. And I also would like to say I had an opportunity attending the conference, school board conference, and I've definitely enjoyed it. So thank you guys for letting me represent you guys, us. And I guess this is our last meeting for the year, so I would like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and enjoy your holiday, and please stay warm. That's all.
All right, my turn. First off, I was able to, with my colleague Anita, visit Mayfield, and it seems like forever ago, but I guess it was November 12th or something like that in my calendar. And so wanted to thank the staff at Mayfield for always welcoming us when we come in. I know we probably make people nervous, hopefully not, but Ms. Puckett, her fourth grade math lesson, there was just an energy in the classrooms that we visited. Miss Taya, is it Rickard, Miss Campbell, forgetting one also that we visited. And so we just had a good day kind of walking around the building, getting to experience a little what goes on at Mayfield. Appreciate Ms. Hauser for organizing that and allowing us to join her in that visit. Want to say thank you to Verlena. And what I have found that everything you touch is made better by you. It's one of those people who, I mean, just a positive kindness, energy
Thank you. Thank
that you exude make the people around you better. And that's what I've found, that you've just been a very valuable part of our team. And you're going to be sorely missed. And hopefully we still get to chat every now and again, because I enjoy our conversations.
Thank
And
you,
so
Chris.
thank you.
Thank you.
And I do welcome Ms. Baker. I believe will be joining us come the new year, and so I look forward to welcoming her to the Board of Education. Anything else tonight?
Can
Like
you
my
still-
colleagues?
Condolences to Nita. Can you, yeah.
To my colleague Anita, she's not here tonight because she has a family issue. And so just thoughts and hugs and for our friend and colleague Anita. And to everybody within Middletown City Schools, just wishing them a healthy and happy winter season. I know it's a hard season for some. Hopefully it's a restful one. I'm finishing up my grading. I know our students have finals in the high school, and I don't know middle school. Do they have finals in middle school yet? So they'll wait for those for the next couple years. But to our high school students going through finals, good luck to them over the next couple days. To our teachers, as we saw tonight, I mean, we see what goes on in our district. We don't always have the opportunity to intimately talk and experience everything, but do know that we notice and we appreciate all the work that goes into it. And to our students, we always look forward to raising you up, and there's all kinds of good reasons to do so. That's all I have for tonight. Ms. Hauser or Ms. Tuttle, anything to throw out there?
Like how
You're
much
good.
you're enjoying stepping.
I heard you make really good peanut butter fudge. So,
I'd also like to say thank you, Berlina. So I've been with the district for 17 years, and I think I've been working with Berlina for 17
It
years.
feels like, yep,
Yeah.
very close to it. Right?
Whether it was Success by Six, going to community foundation meetings, really our paths have just always crossed at all the different meetings.
Yeah.
And like Chris said, you do make, everyone's lives better that you cross. And also, I would like to say you're getting ready to retire.
Yes.
So it's not just stepping down from the Board of Education, but you're getting ready to enter into a whole new chapter of life.
So excited.
So we're excited for you.
Thank you.
We know you're going to have extra time on your hands now that you're retired.
To bug everybody.
There you go. So we know where you are, right? We know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah.
So we're going to definitely miss your voice at the table, and really seeing you at all those meetings.
Yeah.
I always count on seeing you at all the different meetings. So just remember, once a Mitty, always a Mitty, right? The door's always open. And good luck to you. And we're always here for you.
Thank you, Debbie.
Yep. Also want to say just a couple more things. Want to give a big shout out to Thomas Hall, the Moose, and Phillips Tube with our celebrating our football team and as far as they've gone, and really the community that rallied with providing the coaches, the bus coaches, not the coaches like the athletic coaches. But really, I'm treating our football players and really the whole program, football players, cheer, the band. We want to say thank you. Also providing tickets to our students. I mean, really, that was all a lot of last minute because, we were thrilled to death, but we were finding out at the last minute that we were moving on.
Yeah.
So I want to give a big thank you to our community members for that. Also to encourage the public to pay attention. Right now, there are lots of things going on at the state level when it comes to school funding. I could talk all night about the changes that are being proposed, what's sitting on the governor's desk at this point in time. We're always pushing information out, whether it's in our newsletters, whether you see information on the news, whether it's Butler County newsletters. There's all kinds of information out there right now to keep the public informed about what's going on with school funding. So I encourage the public to take time to get educated, because there are some things out there right now that if they are passed will drastically change how schools are funded. Mm-hmm. And then also we have this week, and we are going out on holiday break. Our students and staff will be gone December 22nd. Staff will be back on January 5th, and students will be back on January 6th. So that's a nice holiday break for everyone to really reset, recharge, understand the importance that they play in the lives of everyone that they run across in the district. So enjoy your break. Happy holidays, and we can't wait to see you back in January.
That's it. Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second,
Mrs. Stewart,
yes.
Mrs. Ramsey Hunter,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Dr. Urso.
Yes. We're adjourned. Have a good night.
Thanks for staying.